This is a situation right now where you are helping us to forward this story as much as we are helping you to advance the story as well. And, you know, I have to say my compliments to the Metro Nashville Police Department and the Nashville Fire Department for being so forthcoming with the details that we have been able to share so far. The fact that this early in the investigation, and I know it's been, what, 5 hours, but the fact that this early in the investigation, and really it was shortly after that they told us that this was an intentional detonation in downtown Nashville.
An intentional bombing incident is how the Nashville Emergency Operations Center has worded it, but exactly how
crazy.
all this
I
played out,
been
we
up,
have some
I've been up
specifics
since
about
3 in
how
the morning.
this took place
Couldn't
earlier
sleep.
on
I
this
passed
morning.
out drunk at about 10.
Shots were fired
Got
earlier
5
on,
real
and
solid
then the
hours
bomb
of sleep,
exploded.
and then I've been
However,
up
it's
since
just
3.
a question of how
I didn't hear about
all
this
of
until
played
about
out
45 minutes
timeline-wise.
ago.
So hopefully in about 28 minutes, when Metro Police hold
But
their
yeah,
next
this
news
is crazy.
conference, they'll provide some more
Merry Christmas,
information.
everybody, by the
Right
way.
now, we are still dealing with a very active scene out there. We know that federal investigators, the ATF, the FBI, we also have TBI, THP, Metro Police, Nashville Fire, just about every agency there is out at this scene in downtown Nashville. Second in Commerce, this video earlier on this morning does show one of the vehicles still burning as a result. We know that several buildings in that area, we're talking businesses and actual apartment buildings that people were living in, they were in there at the time. We have a lot of firsthand accounts as those buildings are not just heavily damaged. Some, it sounds like the actual apartments themselves are destroyed. One woman telling us that she lost everything. Another man who was exiting the building talked to Elizabeth Lane and said the same thing. There's extensive damage all through this area, but still so many questions about how all of this played out here.
And I'm told the RV was in the middle of the street, not on the sidewalk, which could have been perhaps one of the things that Metro Police noted about being so awkward.
That would be an indicator, because you'd wonder, why is it there in the middle of the road?
Certainly at this point there. And again, the gunfire going off at 3 separate occasions prior to the detonation of this. And the fact that everyone that lives down there, most everyone, had a chance to leave the area. I'm hearing from folks that made it from the downtown area to the Gulch, made it from the downtown area over to Nissan Stadium. There was an urgency that occurred down there between the gunshots and the actual blast. There was some sort of urgency that everyone got the message that it was time to get out of that area, time to leave that area. So that, of course, in 25 minutes, maybe Metro Police, which again have been so forthcoming about the information, maybe they will give us a further update about what was exactly transpiring down there. We showed you the camera, the surveillance camera of the man walking the dog, approached by police, told to get out of the area right when the blast happened. So we actually have a visual confirmation of this process happening. And when you see that video, if you have not seen it, if you're just joining our coverage right now, when you see that video, you will understand how Metro Police, this is the video. There's the man walking the dog. See through the door there, the top left? He stops. There's audio between that man and the officer.
Oh, shit!
And the blast. So these officers knew that they were in harm's way. Now, I am going to go ahead with this now that I have confirmation that this firsthand account can be aired. But this firsthand account says we first heard gunfire, extremely loud gunfire, 3 separate times. Matches up exactly with the witness that we actually heard on the interview right there. That woke them up, they say. When they looked out their window, they saw a large RV parked across the street. The RV was broadcasting a message, and that is the part which I've been holding off on, but I feel comfortable saying that at this point. So there was some sort of message being broadcast from that RV. This, again, is a first-hand from someone that lives in that building almost above the
oh my God, here we go.
Message that I won't share right now because, you know, the police are obviously doing their job best they can, but this is out there all over social media right now, and there's actually video, audio recording of the message that was being broadcast. But they said that they're 100% sure that had they not been cleared from this area, they would be dead right now. Oh. That's the bottom line of this message that I have received, this firsthand account.
Yeah, so disturbing. As you mentioned, people have been forwarding us that video that has that message playing from the RV. We are not going to air that right now. We're actually working to get confirmation
Why?
that that's not a doctored video.
Sure,
or
and,
something
and,
Why?
and I agree 100% right there. And I've just heard this from too many people that I trust that were down there at this point that I felt comfortable saying those words right there. So it's again 23 minutes away. Would some of these?
What was the RV message?
This video you should be able to hear it in just a second.
You gonna play it?
Yeah. So it's the force of the explosion and the sound of the explosion just absolutely.
All right. Supposedly in here it is.
Terrifying. I'm very curious as to exactly.
What's going on?
If you can hear this message, evacuate now. If you can hear this message, evacuate now.
Oh shit! Okay, so it wasn't a political. You know, you kind of expect them to be like Black Lives Matter, or you know, that's very creepy. That is very creepy. By the way, this is the next thing that they're going to use in protests, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we just heard the RV broadcast. That was a super dono from Captain Content. Damn, that's going to be the new thing that they use at protests. Is all of a sudden there'll just be a random vehicle that pops up in a large group, and it'll just be like, "Please, if you hear this message, evacuate the." That's fucking creepy.
This area must be evacuated now.
This is super. By the way, can we just say, look, I'm a conspiracy nut, but this is fucking fishy, right? Like, if you're not looking at this and going, okay, this is incredibly sketchy, like. This is so blatantly like a false flag. Like, they're not even trying anymore. I mean, they're literally actively trying to help you out. Like, this is a false flag operation by your United States government. If you would like to continue living, please exit the area. You have 35 seconds before our designated IEDs explode, turning your street into Baghdad. FBI press conference at 1 p.m. Eastern. It's fucking. That's 20 minutes from now. All right, let's watch this a little bit more. I guess the Nashville mayor acted kind of weird. So like, this is just. I'm guessing he's a Democrat. I'm just throwing that out there. Is the Nashville mayor a Democrat? Oh, interesting. Oh, Harvard and Vanderbilt. All right. Nothing to see here.
This area must be evacuated now. This area must be evacuated now. This area must be evacuated now. If you can hear this message,
That's crazy. All right, so where's this mayor? I want to speak to the mayor. Where's Mr. Mayor? All right. I want to hear the mayor. Ah. Where's the mayor? Where can I listen to the mayor talk? I want to hear. Why can't I? Oh, for fuck's sakes, Josh! Are they taking the video down of him laughing already? Is that what's happening? Okay. Like, motherfucker, they work fast when they want to get rid of shit. Why did they warn to evacuate now? Weird. It's so clearly a fear tactic.
You know, this is the only explosion that's going to happen in Nashville today. The dramatic thing.
I want to see what was leading up to this, because that just kind of sounds like I'm suspicious. I want the full video of John Cooper, this mayor. John Cooper, mayor. Like, because let's see the whole thing.
That's being conducted right now with all parties, including federal parties, and I think there'll be another briefing in about 20 minutes, hopefully with more details at that point. But for the time being, don't come to downtown Nashville. It's going to be sealed off, and every effort is going to be made to make sure that there are no, that everything is completely safe going forward. And I did tour the destruction, and we are very lucky that not more injuries. I think we're going to check and see what injuries there have been, but so not a very populated area, but the people in the buildings adjacent mostly are fine and have been evacuated. So one more event in Nashville's 2020. Again, it's I don't think anybody can come to any conclusion. Just wait for the next briefing, and then again, I do know that very professional folks are moving ahead with that as quickly as possible. Well, so a whole lot of broken glass and trees. Insulation has been blown up into the trees. Not from the street, you can't tell a lot of structural damage, but there is a whole lot of broken glass. And then there's some broken water mains, which adds to the drama of the picture, to be sure. So, it looks like a bomb went off on 2nd Avenue. That's, an explosion, I should say, all these words. So again, it's a surprise, but want to be very complimentary to our emergency responders, including those of the state, but our police and our fire department have been doing a splendid job. And again, Christmas morning, it's unfortunate, but any other morning, I think it would have been a much worse story, to be sure, because there were just so few people out early this morning. So again, I'd stay tuned for the next briefing in about 20 or 30 minutes as more actual information will be known and not just speculation. Okay, thank you all. Appreciate it. Appreciate you all being here. I know this is taking time away from your...
That wasn't him laughing. All right. I want to see the clip of him where he's laughing, but the stuff leading up to him laughing. Because I'm going to throw this out there. We can watch this clip again of him here. I think that this is just a guy who probably woke up. He's a guy that wakes up at 5:30 every morning, no matter the morning, has a cup of coffee. He seems like a guy that has an elliptical, and he still has like a sweat headband, and it's in his garage. So like, I feel like he was doing. I feel like he was just, he was doing his jog, his workout, watching the news, going, Christmas, got to get the biscuits ready for the grandkids and cinnamon rolls, and man, this is gonna be a lot of work. At least I don't have to be the mayor today. At least I just get to be what's his name again? I already forgot. Doesn't matter. At least today I just get to be John, not Mr. Mayor. And then he gets this call at that exact moment that he's hopping off the elliptical, and he's all sweaty. He's got a towel around him. He takes the phone call. He's like, "Hey, what's up? I'd rather not take any business calls. If this is about the budget, I think it can wait till tomorrow, Carl." And Carl's like, "Mr. Mayor," and he's like, "Oh shit." Carl never does the Mr. Mayor thing unless it's bad. "Mr. Mayor, 10 minutes ago, a bomb went off on 2nd Street in an RV with a encrypted message. The FBI is already on the scene." Son of a cunt. This is just nervous laughter of a guy that's like, seriously, I would like to be home by like 6 p.m. tonight. I understand that this is going to be an issue, but I'm just the mayor. I'm not really in forensics or crime scene. May I please go home? May I please go home? This is the nervous laughter of a man who works as a delivery driver for an auto parts company. And he gets back from his run, and his kid's got a softball game at 6, and it's 4:30, and his boss looks at him, and he's not supposed to get off till 5. He usually just sweeps up at the end of the day. And the boss goes, I need you to go now to send this transmission to Gus Bradley, our #1 client of tractors. And you're like, fucking cunt. And then you show up to the softball game, and it's already the 4th inning, and your daughter hit a home run in the 2nd, and then she's just like, "Dad, why weren't you there for me?" That's what this man has the look of just like, no matter what, his wife is pissed at him. You don't have to go. You don't have to go talk. The FBI's there, honey. It's Christmas. I'm the mayor. I'm Mr. Mayor. Yeah, don't fall for this bullshit. This is just nervous laughter.
Everything and make sure that this is the only explosion that's going to happen in Nashville today.
Why is this not working? Oh.
The dramatic thing, if you were closer, is the broken water mains do lend a certain drama to the scene, for sure. So all that.
The bomb was the RV. It was a car bomb.
I'm feeling calm.
We'll find out more in a few minutes, though, I'm sure.
Boom, there you go. And our doors blew open, too. Not only that, I checked our cameras. Our back doors all blew open, too. So in our alley, everybody's black. The back doors blew open. The glass is all out of the back of our building and everything.
Tell me about the rounds of gunfire that were heard. Let me hear your account of that period.
You know what? I did not hear the rounds of gunfire.
Thus, you would not have been out walking your dog if you heard gunfire. Okay, that totally makes sense to me. Totally makes sense to me.
But we were told, we talked to a lady who owns the building across the street, and she heard the gunfire about 4:30 this morning.
Lots of people are asking
So
us.
she said that she had called 911.
Okay.
And finally got them on the phone and had 2 officers come by. So that was at 4:30. The explosion was what, 6:29? I'm looking on my camera, right? So that was a couple hours later, the explosion.
Yeah, I apologize. I keep stepping on you, but I have so many things I want to ask you.
Oh yeah, no.
But tell me a little bit more about the broadcast message that you were hearing down there on 2nd Avenue. And we don't know the exact source, although we've heard from people saying they think it was the RV. You do too?
Yeah, my friend who owns the other building I talked to, she said it was absolutely coming from the RV.
Okay.
Because she literally was across the street.
No, it was actual gunfire like a couple hours before.
So she heard the audio. So anyways, it said it was kind of faint, and I thought it was coming from the police car that was cutting off 2nd Avenue and Church. And it was saying, please do not approach this vehicle, step away from this vehicle. And that's about all the detail of it I can remember now.
That's perfectly in line with what it was saying. It was saying,
live in this
please
area,
evacuate the area, do not.
Are you surprised that we're not dealing with a mass casualty situation?
You know,
God, they want
the
the
only
mass
thing I can
casualty
think of
situation.
is whoever the entities are that did this were not trying to kill people. I'm making an assumption here because you're talking 6 a.m. on Christmas morning with an announcement saying don't approach the vehicle. I mean, if they're trying to kill people, would they have done that?
No, it's exactly. It's a fear tactic.
Often on our broadcast and on this coverage,
fear is the best weapon.
There's something to that, right?
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's things telling you not to approach this vehicle, and it's. I mean, when is it the most quietest downtown? Would be 6 a.m. on Christmas Day.
Yeah. Anything else that stood out about this? Did you actually put a pair of eyes on that RV?
You know what? No, I wasn't paying attention. I know it was on the side of the street closest to the AT&T building because that's where the explosion came from. So I was actually looking at the officer, and then when it happened, of course, I looked up from his face and saw the explosion.
Imagine counting the blessings this morning, David. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I'm glad. I hope those 2 officers were okay across the street. So.
Yeah, I absolutely. And
how do they know it was a bomb? That we don't know yet. There's a lot of suspicious shit going on. Do we still have that video up? I think I can get this video still. So this is the video, or one of the videos circling. Yeah, this is Millie's Fear Tactic Playbook. Totally. How do they know it was a bomb? If you listen, pretty close, you can hear there's a warning. It's a loop recording playing from the RV. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see the RV. The camera is one of those, street ones, so that you don't see the focus over. But the RV is kind of just chilling here down at the end of the street. It looks like in the middle of the road. And then it's going to play that message about do not approach the RV or something along those lines. We'll hear it. It doesn't matter. And then the explosion. No countdown or anything. So you could tell that it was whenever and whoever left this RV, it was, everything was set to a timer, but nothing was exact. All buildings in this area must be evacuated now.
This area must be evacuated now. If you can hear this message, evacuate now. If you can hear this message, evacuate now.
Damn.
Especially on a Christmas morning that early, but a lot of folks are really kind of thankful that there are no fatalities and really just kind of in awe of what they are calling that Christmas miracle. So we'll keep you updated. Back to you.
All right, and thank you very much. And you heard from our interview with the man walking his dog that it seemed almost intentional that there was this effort to warn people to stay away from the RV coming in, and he said 100% sure that message was being broadcast from the RV. So that stood out to me, Josh, because we had been hearing that. I read that message that we received. There's video posted from down around 2nd Avenue that you actually hear some sort of message. I know we're working on clearance on that, but to hear him say that this was intentionally done to make sure that people got out of the area. What is there to that? What is the message that we
were there fire sirens? The police were already on scene about this vehicle being left there.
Hopefully they'll be giving us
and they were already
answers
bringing
here
in the
during
bomb
Metro
squad
Police
when
news
it went
conference
off.
in about 3 minutes. We're going to take that live.
It's
We're actually
absolutely a
watching
test.
the podium here, just waiting for them to walk up. I do want to let you know the
Absolutely a
FBI
fucking
has now
test.
tweeted out that they've established a digital tip line. They're asking anyone with
Remember the
information
Jack
about the
tweet
Nashville
11 plus
explosion
11? No,
here
I don't.
to give them a call, and that number is
I don't know what you're talking
1-800
about. Are you talking about Jack?
FBI. It's 1-800-CALL-FBI. We're going to post that on our website where we have our continuing coverage all over WKRN.com. Again, they're just looking for anyone who has information about this. As you'd imagine, this is the story that we're not just following here in Nashville, but not just across Tennessee, across the country. They've established a hashtag Nashville explosion that everyone is using.
No, the mayor didn't suggest that another might happen.
If you have any
The
videos,
mayor
pictures
clearly has that
you are
energy
here
of I
for us
don't
to
want
use,
this
make
to
sure
I
that
didn't
you
want
send
this
them our
on
way,
Christmas.
but let us
I want to
know
be
who
anywhere
took them
but
and
here.
letting us know that
Please,
we
God,
can't
don't
use
let there
them.
be anything else.
Yeah, our lieutenant governor
Anyways.
is also.
Also,
sending
yeah, don't call the
messages saying
FBI.
just short and simple, and speaking for all of us, incredibly.
It's a terrible decision in your
what
life.
was the words? Ashley, apologize. Incredibly despicable act of destruction. Thank you. I wanted to make sure you want to quote the lieutenant governor properly. Again, this is Broadway. It's down on Broadway, so you've gone a couple blocks, then you've made either a right or left, and so you're kind of out of the direct zone, and you can still see the impact actually sending debris into this building or parts of the building there. So again, just a couple minutes away from this update from Metro Nashville Police, and I just want to let you know that as soon as we see the Metro Police Department spokesperson Don Aaron or Nashville Fire Joseph Pleasant step to the microphone, we will go there immediately. You'll catch some of the crosstalk and traffic there, but that's okay at this point where we want to get more information. We have the number for
Yes,
the FBI
Mego.
digital tips line. You gave it already. It's
Yeah.
really easy. 1-800-CALL-FBI.
Don't call the FBI. Don't fucking call the FBI. All right, so Mego, because you missed it, a lot of people are coming in new. You can hear the message. This is playing from the RV. It's hard to see from this camera because of the angle, but the RV, I can kind of make it out. It's parked like directly in the middle of the road. It's a very suspicious vehicle. They made this as obvious as possible. There was gunfire recorded or reported 3 separate times in the 2 hours leading up to this. They wanted all eyes on this. They wanted people out of the way. They wanted a show. They wanted a demonstration. We're going to see over the next few hours what happens, but watch this get linked to a white militia group. Watch this get linked to different shit. Watch how this gets spun. And if it doesn't meet the narrative needed by the media to continue shit, if this was actually like a lone wolf situation, some group, NFAC, whatever, Black Lives Matter, watch how it gets spun and covered up, and how nothing ever gets solved or vetted. But you can hear the message about all buildings in the area need to be evacuated, and then the explosion.
Must be evacuated now. All buildings in this area must be evacuated now. All buildings in this area must be evacuated now. If you can hear this message, evacuate now. If you can hear this message, evacuate now.
Nothing to see here, folks. Hey, that Stephen Paddock guy, right? What a motive to gun down an entire country music festival, losing a few $100,000 of your millions of dollars of wealth in online poker rooms. That's a real motive, that you were a lonely guy and that you had enough of life. That's sure why you bring 40 guns up to the 56th floor of your casino over 3 days. You know, as Saudi Emirates and Jeffrey Epstein are upstairs. Look, whatever. Look. Whatever. Don't look into it, guys. Don't look into Vegas. Don't look into October 1st, 2017. You're going to have a bad time. Don't. Whatever you do, don't look up this. Don't look up this. Don't look up this guy.
Thank you both for being here. And
don't try to find this fucker. He's not a person. He no longer exists. Don't look for Jesus Campos. Don't look for him. Wait, are the comments comments are turned off? Comments are turned off, Ellen. All right, let's see.
Let it out.
Justin Bieber. Can we comment on Justin Bieber videos? Can we?
Let it out.
Wait. Can we comment on this one? Can we?
Let it out.
Oh, good. I'm glad we could comment on that video. Don't look at Jesus Campos. You're gonna have a bad time. By the way, going back to the whole earlier thing we talked about, if you go down the Jesus Campos rabbit hole, the FBI will be calling you. You don't have to worry about remembering their 1-800 number. You'll be getting a call and be on some watch lists. Don't worry. Seriously, don't look up Jesus Campos. Don't look up Stephen Paddock.
It appeared that the injuries that they suffered were minor.
Yeah.
Nothing that we've heard about are life-threatening injuries, but we could get an update from the fire department as far as that goes and whether they have transported anyone else or, if anyone was in that RV when it exploded. Many questions.
When it comes to investigations of the forensics, the accelerants, the bomb use, you're going right up the Nashville Fire Department's alley. This is the stuff that they train their personnel on. This is the stuff that the fire investigators go into just any normal house fire, any structure fire, and that's, it's basically reworking this thing, re-engineering it backwards from what you're left with to what was going on there before, and that's the Nashville Fire Department's expertise, and it's part of the reason that we're seeing such a large presence of both Metro Nashville Police and the Nashville Fire Department, despite the fact that right now it is the FBI's investigation. They made that clear to us that they are the lead agency on this investigation, but certainly the pieces that the Metro Police and Fire Department are providing to the FBI are helping them come up with some conclusions about what we've experienced in our city this morning.
We're watching that podium, as I mentioned, because Metro Police and Nashville Fire should be approaching soon to kind of give us that update, the latest update. The last one we got from them, from Metro Police, was actually around 10 o'clock, so about 2 hours ago was the last update we received on this, and they're expected to take the podium, they said, anytime around noon.
Do we have the Bridgestone Arena camera handy? I want to,
Is Nashville not on Eastern time?
Oh, okay. We can bring it up, but apparently we can't move it right now. But okay, it's pointing in at least down towards 2nd Avenue. It's it's going to be almost to the river, and then take a left. And we're getting our word. Here we go. Let's go to the press conference. This is Nashville Police spokesperson Don Aaron.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have several speakers for you now.
Will we learn anything?
Coming up in this
Will we learn anything?
After me, Chief John Drake of the Nashville Police Department. He will be followed by the United States Attorney Don Cochran for the Middle District of Tennessee. He will be followed by Mickey, that's M-I-C-K-E-Y French, Special Agent in charge of the ATF for this area. He will be followed by Matt Foster, the Special Agent in charge of the Nashville FBI office, and then Nashville Fire Department Chief Director William Swan will speak to some operations that are taking place on 2nd Avenue. Chief John Drake.
Thank you, Don. Good afternoon. This morning, around 5:30 a.m., officers responded to a call for shots fired in the downtown area, specifically 2nd and near Commerce. As officers responded, they encountered an RV that had a recording saying that a potential bomb would detonate within 15 minutes. Officers, upon hearing that, decided to evacuate the buildings nearby. So they began knocking on doors, making announcements, having emergency communications, communicate with everyone to get people safe. Shortly after that, the RV exploded. We had one officer that was knocked to the ground. Another officer is fine.
Can you wait, sir, please? Do they really?
Currently, what we have going on now is we have K9 dogs. All of them are out, partnering with Tennessee Highway Patrol, our federal partners, and we're sweeping the downtown area just as a precaution to make sure that everyone is safe and that any service that needed, we can provide that. And so with that said, we don't feel there's any concern in the downtown area of any thing else right now, but we are doing it as a precaution just to search with our
How can you say there's
At this
not
time,
a
I'll turn it
threat?
over to Attorney Don Cochran.
So staged.
Good afternoon and Merry Christmas. Unfortunately, this is not the way any of us wanted to spend our Christmas morning, I know. But I'm Don Cochran. I'm the U.S. Attorney here in Nashville, Tennessee. This morning I briefed the Acting Attorney General, Jeff Rosen, on the situation here in Nashville, and he has told me to tell the police chief in Nashville that we are devoting the entire resources of the Department of Justice to help in their investigation. FBI and ATF are taking the lead in this investigation, and I want to turn the stage over first to Assistant Special Agent in Charge Matt Foster of the FBI, and then Special Agent in Charge Mickey French of the ATF to explain some of the resources that the federal government is going to bring to bear on this situation. Matt.
Dude, that guy does not give a fuck.
The FBI stands with the city of Nashville today.
Okay, I don't trust
in this
that.
very tragic Christmas Day event.
What?
This is our city too. We live here, we work here, and we're putting everything we have into finding who was responsible for what's happened here today. As part of doing that, there are investigative leads to be pursued. There's also technical work that needs to happen, and we're standing with Metro Nashville Police Department and our federal partners and our state partners to bring every resource we can possibly bring to bear to find out what happened here today and to bring those responsible to justice. The investigative leads, I'm sure you understand, is not something that we can talk about.
Why?
As we continue to pursue every tip, I would ask the public to go to www.fbi.gov/Nashville.
Please don't.
It's www.fbi.gov.
Seriously, do not go to that
Nashville,
website.
Where an online tip submission process has been set up.
Do not
Please
do
tell
not
us
give
what
tips
you
to
know.
the federal government. They will use it
We need
all
your
against
leads,
you.
We need your help. You can also call 1-800-CALL-FBI.
Do not call the
tip
FBI.
information if you know anything about
That's even worse.
what has happened here today. We'd appreciate
They're
your help.
literally just, I mean, they have a direct line anyway,
On the
but now you're giving them
technical
a
side,
reason.
Our focus will be on bringing the technical experts of the FBI from across the country, including the FBI laboratory, our hazardous devices school, and our experts from evidence
Okay,
response
I don't want the
teams
school. Bring the
nationwide
actual guy that has
into
the job.
Nashville to help process this massive crime scene, along with the ATF, Metro Nashville PD, and the many other partners who were part of this effort that will continue. We will find out what happened here.
Will you?
That's all.
Good afternoon. My name is Mickey French. I'm the Special Agent in Charge for the ATF Nashville Field Division.
No, you
ATF is continuing to be a critical partner with the Metro Nashville Police Department as well as our federal counterparts. ATF responded this morning with several groups and personnel from the Nashville Field Division. We've also activated our national response team.
This isn't a real person.
That particular team is
This
made
is
up
an
of
actor.
specialists as well, certified explosive specialists, chemists, engineers, as well as evidence recovery, interview teams, and so forth. We'll be coordinating that with Metro Nashville Police Department as well as the FBI, and we'll put together a team that is going to collectively work this investigation.
Hold on, who's that
to the
guy from
fullest.
that movie?
Our main priority is obviously to keep our Nashville citizens safe and secure, and we'll work jointly
Who was
with
in Oh
everybody
Brother, Where
here
Art
to
Thou?
do that. Thank you.
Get back here, Mickey French.
Good afternoon. I'm going to give you just a quick update. I know Don earlier had mentioned as far as the fire department.
That was Tim Blake Nelson.
We did transport 3 individuals with minor injuries, but right now what we're doing is with our structural engineers, along with our urban search and rescue, hazmat teams, we're going into the buildings, making sure number one that the building is sound and ensuring that there are no other victims or anyone that are there. So a lot of moving parts. Again, my hat goes off to all the teams working together as one unit, and we'll continue to work on until the job is done. So thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the update as we know it at present. If there is another briefing for this afternoon, we'll let you know. But you pretty much know what we know at this juncture as far as our community is concerned.
You've done nothing.
Again, to reiterate, we know of no other imminent danger to the city at this point.
Okay. That's a better way of wording it.
Going through the downtown area now are doing that as a precaution. Okay? I can't hear you, Harriet.
Do we have a number yet of maybe an estimate of how many buildings have been damaged in this incident?
I'll talk with Joseph Pleasant from OEM. I can tell you that several of the buildings on 2nd Avenue have structural damage. Several of them have been damaged, some more than others, but we'll get that for you. I know that, as Chief Swan said, the fire department's looking at those structural issues now to determine any more potential impact.
Wasn't the bearded guy from Boston's bomb? You know, I actually thought the same thing. It's not. That was a different guy.
As
I looked at the picture
FBI
though
said,
because
we will
I was
find
like,
that out.
is that
there
the same
are
FBI agent?
a number
It's
of
not. It's a
people
different
working
guy.
right now on Christmas Day, running leads throughout the city. From our police department, the FBI, ATF,
is working on Christmas.
Answers will be forthcoming. We can't discuss those with you now or exactly what we're looking at, but answers I'm sure will be forthcoming. I have no information about any body being found. We do not know whether anyone was in the RV when it exploded. We do not know whether anyone was in the RV when it exploded.
How?
So I can't tell you at this point whether there's a potential for a fatality.
That's one of the easiest things to find out. Hey, let's look at the RV. Is there someone in it?
It is believed it was coming from the RV. Yes.
Yes, Captain Content is alive.
There were announcements coming from the RV, and that's the extent of what we can say at this point.
Is there any surveillance footage that police are investigating right now?
There are cameras throughout the downtown area. Yes, we have been reviewing downtown cameras, and that is all part of the totality of the investigation.
Don, you mentioned some people may have been
Well, I like this guy, by the way. This guy's got good words. Totality is a great term to use in these situations.
Just providing more pieces to the puzzle, more information. As Chief Drake said, we had a number of officers, several officers on 2nd Avenue who were working to protect the public when the explosion occurred. As he said, one of those officers was knocked off his feet. We have some counselors with our officers, our behavioral health folks are with those officers, ensuring that they're okay. I mean, they went through a very traumatic experience themselves.
Can you speak to just, I mean, really, it's amazing how these officers and first responders run into the face of danger. They knew, according to that RV, that there was some kind of threat, and they continued to take their time to get people out.
Bro, like, it's so easy to know if there was a fatality.
On 2nd Avenue and did their best to get people to safety. Obviously, they heard the announcements coming from this vehicle. They took them seriously, and we're working to seal the streets, to protect folks, and we think it worked. We think lives were saved by those officers doing just that. All right, thanks very much, folks.
That was not helpful.
Really quickly about the location. It's close to AT&T. There's a lot of talk about AT&T,
All right.
especially with the servers in one building. Is there any thought right now that it was related to targeting AT&T? The vehicle explosion occurred outside 166 Second, the AT&T building. We do not know if that was a coincidence or whether that was the intention. Okay?
All right, there you have it. That is Metro Nashville spokesperson Don Aaron. We heard Don Cochran, who's the district attorney for this region. We also heard from the FBI. We heard from Nashville Fire Department, and we heard from the police chief, John Drake, here. All the agencies are obviously working on this together. And right now, I want to welcome in Bob Mueller to our coverage here. And Bob, we've covered big stories in this town. I know you've covered them for a lot longer than I have. This is right there at the top of the list.
That was a nice dig at his age.
Wake up Christmas morning for all of Nashville. It's shocking development.
He's ancient.
I didn't wake up till 10:30, and so this was the first thing I saw on TV. We were talking just a minute ago, Neil. What a remarkable job by Metro Police. The recording, we now know that we heard that there was a broadcast that there was likely a bomb in the area, and there obviously turned out to be one, and they go into the zone. So Lord knows how many lives were saved by that bravery. And truly, truly remarkable.
Who's this jackoff on the left?
Downplay any injuries, but only a handful of people were injured is unbelievable with an explosion of this size.
I just can't imagine the disbelief. You're a police officer. You're working that Christmas morning shift. You come across an RV. Well, first of all, they're called down there because of reports of shots fired at 3 separate occasions, numerous shots, Bob. You're called to this location. You go down there and you find an RV broadcasting a message. The disbelief that, is this real? Is this happening?
Right.
Is this really an explosive device? And then it turns out to be an explosive device. For all the training that they go through and all the precautions that they take, even in some of the video where we watch an officer who's still working to clear out the area who was blown over by the blast with helping the man, Jonathan, with his dog, clear out from the area.
Stop showing this. Show me nothing more than these two guys.
The oddity of the location. Obviously, we don't know the motive yet behind this, but the oddity of this location, this is one little area that is basically almost non-residential. There are some folks who live in this area,
broadcaster
but not
with
anywhere
the mustache.
Near the people
He's
that really
wonderful.
live downtown in the Gulch and Midtown,
I
even on
love
Second
his
on
cohort,
Broadway.
who's
This
just
is an area of legal
fake and
buildings, a lot of
jazzy
law
and
offices.
Here's the
has
video
the
of the man
booze
walking the
bags
dog, Bob.
under
I'm
his
sorry to
eye
interrupt
from
you, but
last night.
there he stopped right there.
What a
Jonathan
fucking
stopped
piece of
because
shit.
you'll see the officer
Just
walk in saying,
stop, Bob.
Go ahead.
Can I tell you what happened?
And the weirdity of the recording or the live voice saying there's a bomb, you need to leave this area.
See, Brian, I was there when Kennedy was shot. I was broadcasting live from KRBC Dallas in 1963. Shut the fuck up, Bob!
Force. The plume
I
going
know
above
you've been
the
covering shit for
skyline,
57 years.
Dwarfs the size
Fuck
of the
off!
AT&T building.
Chad's time.
I'm sure you could feel it for miles around.
I'm sure you could feel it for
And we're still going to try
miles
to find out exactly what this message was. Was this an explosion to do damage to a facility? Was this an explosion determined to kill people? There's different types of bombs. Was it filled with nails and marbles meant to kill people?
Yeah.
Or was it just powder and chemicals and maybe fertilizer meant to do some damage?
I want to tap into your expertise and knowledge of the city, too. The building that it was parked in front of, that again, we do not know if
we see the streets, Bob. There's no nails.
Is one of 2 buildings in downtown Nashville built to withstand a bomb blast. The other being a federal building that is under construction.
And
that used to be the AT&T headquarters.
Was the AT&T headquarters outside of Atlanta? It was the biggest.
Why didn't they lead with it was a federal building there? They could have saved us so much time if they said that there's a federal building there. Ding, ding, ding! We have the target accomplished now. It was the federal building.
It is still used as a communications center. I don't think there are a lot of workers there anymore, but that is still
what a goddamn false flag
setup. So maybe
what a goddamn false flag.
Knock out communications in some regard.
And I want to narrate this video, if we can leave it rolling again. What you're seeing is a distant camera view of what happened. That is the aftermath of the explosion. Obviously, a smoke rising in the air. But when it resets, I want you to pay attention to that third light post at the bottom of the screen, or the center of the screen right there, the farthest one away. And if we can replay this video, you'll watch what you see is the glow, and that's going to be the initial blast. And then right by that third light post, the one in the center, the farthest one away, you'll see debris. Are we, hold on a second, we're to go off it for a second, reset the video, and then we'll re-air it. But this is something that just stood out to me, Bob, during the blast. And we also have another video of a window. All right, see the blast?
There it is.
Now watch that light post. See something fly up from the middle?
Yeah.
And now we actually see the concussion or the explosive part rise in the sky, and as you pointed out, well above the skyline of downtown Nashville.
And you saw the scarring on the video picture of the Bell South building, the red building. That is the old Bell South building. And so this blast went up more than out. What that means, I don't know. I'm not an explosive expert, but those are all the details that over the next few days, the ATF and bomb squads from Metro Police, federal authorities will be looking for to see where was this intended to do damage? Or was it just intended to send some kind of weird message? Well, we don't know.
Again, choosing 6:30 precisely,
Christmas
Day
morning,
broadcasting a message to get away in an RV that obviously alerted everybody, and with that broadcast message to get out of that area.
That'll be the next step too, probably for local authorities, federal authorities as well.
All right. No. Whatever they're going to say is wrong. What else is going on in the news that they don't want you to see? That they want you to focus on this shit instead? What else is going on that is more important that they would rather you not see today? What's going on? Obviously, if this is so fishy. What's breaking right now? You know, it's hard to say. I'm not saying that I know what specific event I'm even discussing, but I mean clearly, this was a call for attention. Everything about this screams not real, not obviously this is real. This happened. This physically happened, but this is the shit. Wait, Adam Schiff got arrested? Well, there you go. Adam Schiff got arrested? What happened? I don't know what you're talking about. Weird. Yeah, this is I mean, Adam Schiff tweeted 24 minutes ago, to everyone celebrating today, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, even if your celebrations look different than usual and you're joining loved ones by Zoom. It's been a long and difficult year, but I hope that this holiday brings you and your loved ones peace and joy. I don't know. Looks like a car bomb. I mean, it was. I mean, look, you can see there can be all the rumors and innuendos about did Adam Schiff get arrested, but you know, I don't think Adam Schiff got arrested. But it is a very, very crazy situation. trying to see if there's any comments where. I don't know. This is we'll see. We'll see over the next few hours. These are the types of situations where you don't know. Could be absolute, like you say, malarkey from the feds. Probably is. This reeks of feds. This screams Fed shit. I wish I knew more about the local politics of Nashville and Tennessee to understand maybe a little bit better. Because there's a lot of situations like these where it could be, it could be a militia group where it's like, we're going to do this and we don't want to kill anyone, but we want to destroy this federal building. It could be the Fed setting someone up to act on their behalf to do it. That happens a lot. I mean, the meme template of, hey kid, want to blow up a federal building? I mean, that's Timothy McVeigh. Timothy McVeigh was courted by the U.S. government to act on their behalf with, what's his name, Terry, to blow up the OKC federal building. I mean, it was just, that's what it was. We know that. It's fact. But, we could hear in the next couple hours, it could be like COVID lockdown shit, an actual group. 99% of the time, the FBI helps them. I mean, look, no offense. I mean, people can get away with terrorist attacks like this. It happens. The FBI just, your spy agencies know. They know. That's the thing. It's just, do they want the win of picking you up? Like, I remember a few years ago, there was a Muslim kid that was pretty much going into shop for himself here, and ended up getting some help from the feds, basically, on how to do a car bomb and everything, and he was going to do it at the Christmas tree lighting. And then, literally last minute, the feds stopped in and arrested him. But the whole way, they let him build the devices. They let him take it to the event. So, I mean, I oftentimes wonder in these situations, the feds know something's up. And, I mean, is it even almost a minute-by-minute basis of just like, are we going to let this go through? Are we going to let them go through with the plan? Are we going to arrest them right before they do the plan and foil it at the last second? I don't know. Too orderly, too clean. A nice little message. No, that's not what happened in Oklahoma. Then what happened in Oklahoma, Dean? Because I'm pretty sure a loner type got courted by propaganda that the FBI was putting out to recruit extremism. It seems intentional that no one died. Well, I mean, it kind of is. There was a message. The fucking bomb had a warning. Usually the point of the bomb isn't to have a warning. It's supposed to just blow up. They don't give you convenient messages that say this. They don't say this. They don't go, Okay? McVeigh was mad about Waco and Ruby Ridge. Okay? So, what you're telling me is that the federal government set up a bunch of people, and then when those people were killed, arrested, or taken out, other people got upset about the federal government taking regular citizens out. So then the federal government recruited the people that were upset at the federal government to help blow up other federal buildings. It's literally like having your cake and eating it too. It's controlling supply and demand. Whatever, trust your government. I don't know. Looks a lot like flash powder, not much of an actual boom. Yeah, all the buildings are like, it's so like, it's so blatant. Take off your mask. That's some good advertising right there for Andrew Coulton. 615-300. Hello? Why is it not ringing? I want this. Well, I don't think that was the right number. Otherwise, it's very silly if you're. Oh, maybe we got the wrong number for Andrew. Come on, Andrew. Wow. What a real estate Chad. You don't even fucking, on your business number, you don't even have Andrew Coulton, Vice President, Associate Broker of Westgate Enterprises? For Christ's sakes. What are you, in business? I'm going to call this fucker back. This fucker upset me. This shit, Dick. I'm taking this to the top. I'm going to complain to his boss. That's his dad. Yes, hello, Mr. Coulson. My name is Bo Nose of the Bo Nose Enterprise Media Conglomerate. I was looking into getting some commercial real estate property in Nashville, Tennessee, for my booming media enterprise company. When I was watching a video from your local news outlet and showing advertising your storefront as a commercial and real estate broker, I was calling in hopes of dealing with Nashville's top enterprising broker. And then I receive a voicemail where it's just your phone number. This is troubling to me. I only deal with the best. I am the best. The excellence of execution, like Bret Hart. I think you need to step up your game, Andrew. I think you need to have a nice message like, hello, my name is Andrew Cruelton. Hello, my name is Andrew Cruton. I'm the Vice President and Associate Broker of Westgate Enterprises. My number is 615-300-7997. For immediate inquiries, please email me at andrew@westgateinc.com. I mean, how hard is that, Andrew? How hard is that? Can you spend a little less time doing cocaine and a little bit more time actually being a professional broker? You make me sick. I'm going to be hopefully working with David. I'm guessing that's your father, who I'm assuming actually has a set voicemail that is professional, not like your broke bitch ass. So once again, I'm sorry that you lost my business, but in the future, if you want to be the best, you got to promote yourself like you're the best. And right now, you're a loser. You're just gonna get this awful voicemail. All right, let's get this guy. I mean, I'm sure if they're father and son, I think they ought to be together right now. You'd think. If he can't answer his phone, one of these guys wants my business. Six 714. You don't want to be doxxed by me. You probably shouldn't rent commercial real estate where the news might show your phone number. All right, let's give his father David a call. Please be the voicemail. Please be the voicemail. Please be the voicemail. Please not the real person. Please not the real person. I don't want to actually do this. Ah! Oh, where's the head number? I want the head number. I want the head muckety muck. Give me the goddamn whatever. I want the secretary. I want Denise in Human Resources. All right, 615. Just give me the. Oh. I don't know. Do I get crouton? Yes. Hi, David. My name is Bo Nose of the Bo Nose Media Enterprise. I have a couple of quick concerns. It was hard to find your expertise and whatnot. I was given a couple of phone numbers for you and another member of your organization, Andrew. But those phone numbers were very unprofessional. I mean, I'm the excellence of execution in the media conglomeracy, and I was hoping to make a real estate purchase of at least $1 million. But how am I to trust that I'm getting the best representation from my real estate brokers if I don't even know if I'm reaching the right phone numbers without having to go through 10 separate menus? It's incredibly unprofessional to have a storefront signage with a phone number that has a mailbox yet to be set up. How am I, the leading independent media source of IP2 News, supposed to get my top dollar commercial real estate studio on 2nd Avenue if I don't know if I'm reaching goddamn David Crouton or his goddamn son Andrew? Do you want to be the best? Hi. David. My name is Bo Nose of the Bo Nose Media Group. I recently saw some storefront property while taking a tour of Nashville in my 83 Cadillac. When I saw a sign front for Andrew Coulton Realty, I quickly pounced at the opportunity to call, hopefully Nashville's top real estate broker, when I was then greeted with a mailbox with no voicemail. Now, how am I to trust when I'm about to make $1 million investment if you don't even have the time? The Jews are responsible for the incident today. The Jews are responsible. Well, you shouldn't have earplugs on if you're watching this show. I got sick of recording the message. Because that's not a thing. What is happening with this poor woman?
That's AT&T.
Oh, what? Sorry. I thought the audio. Sorry.
I'm asking what service they have because apparently it's widespread. I'm surprised we didn't hear about
Our whole
outages
neighborhood
earlier.
lost AT&T. My daughter just texted me.
Yeah. So what's happening is as they assess the damage to this is the building. This is the
All right.
Com building that we talk about, the one that was built to.
This is
withstand
gonna get
bomb
okay.
blasts.
This is
It
gonna
has
get
very few
interesting.
Windows and very few markings as to what the nature is.
What's
We
that?
also know that Sumner 911 is also down. Basically, this sounds like it is now rippling through AT&T's system. We're not sure if they're taking this stuff down as a fix,
Or it's falling down.
or it's falling down at this point, Bob. So
Trigg County, Kentucky 911. This is a massive outage of emergency personnel due to this explosion, and it's all internet based, and it's all phone system based, so it's all communication systems based, and it may take weeks, it may take a while to get this all back online. I'm sure we're going to get a list of
it's real.
emails sent in from police departments of
Freaking
phone
on West
numbers
Coast,
to
it wouldn't be
call.
bothered,
The
though.
911
It
system's
wouldn't
down,
be.
and the 911 callers
It
would be
wouldn't
going
be an issue.
to the non-emergency phone numbers.
It
and
wouldn't
even those
surprise
may be
me.
Down. So it depends on what if their 911 system is separate
Wow,
from
hold
the
on.
phone system coming into the police department.
Whoa.
If it's not, it may all be down.
yeah,
If AT&T is attacked and now there's a widespread outage on the East Coast,
he seemed to make it.
Could this
sound
be
as though
a-
this AT&T building?
the explosion was
on its
an-
latter days. It used to be more.
do you guys
important than it is
remember the
right now,
movie
but
V for
from
Vendetta?
what we're
Remember how the first bombing that V does is almost entirely ceremonial or something? Or whatever, the explosions and shit that they did. It was all pretty much ceremonial, and then basically he's like, next year we'll do it right.
If like DirecTV, it's all down.
I'm telling everyone we are.
With the bomb being the RV parked out front of the AT&T building,
I think what we've
could it be a symbolic bombing of we're going to attempt to take out the physicalness of AT&T, which is a cybernetic basically company, but then we're going to attack
Well, and people are asking the question too, why are you not saying
the network, the actual.
know if it was a terror attack? That's why we're not saying this. But
The physical attack is superficial.
and that's what we know, and that's as much as the police department have said. And our job is not to speculate. We're presenting the facts.
This is some Batman shit.
This is where it was parked.
This could be some Batman shit.
It was broadcast that it was coming.
All right, hold on.
Is it likely? Yes, but we don't know that yet. That's what's going to be happening.
We've been very clear in stating we don't know if this is an individual who's out of their mind or if this is a group or what the intent or what the message was. And we've been very clear in saying that if authorities do know, they're not talking to us. That is a crucial part of their investigation of holding their cards close to their vest while they track down everything and while they do the investigation.
I wish we had the great Buford Toon, who we lost this year,
Yes.
sadly. He would know all of our answers for all of this. But the oddity too, Neil, the thing that, and you tell me, I can't remember a broadcast of a warning of an explosion of this kind ever happening before.
No,
I don't understand that.
This is what they used to do with the IRA. This is when there were terror attacks over in Ireland. The IRA would broadcast that they were going to blow. This is your knowledge of what happens here is much deeper than mine, Bob. But there was clearly, by the day, Christmas, by the time, 6:30 in the morning, by the broadcast of the message to get out of the area this is bombed, there was clearly an effort to get civilians out of the way. The gunshots, to me, are a lingering question. Was that an effort to draw police in? And that's something that I'm going to keep asking until I hear a definitive answer.
And it looks like a pretty sophisticated explosive device. This doesn't seem like it was 5 sticks of dynamite. This was a massive explosion that shook
Okay,
a lot.
this is totally random and not on the topic because I saw someone say it was Johnny Silverhand. And that's pretty funny, blowing up the Arxana building. But, and I've only played a little bit of the game, so don't ruin it for me, please, Jimmy. Oh my God, I just figured out what your username is and what your picture is, Jimmy the Worm. Hilarious. The worm has turned indeed. Whew. But goddamn, is there anyone more unlikable than Johnny Silverhand? Like, I'm actually rooting for the Yakuza crazy bosses in this game because the character of V and Johnny Silverhand is just so... I don't care. Merry Christmas, everybody. Cooking, so we'll be in and out. Don't worry. I'm not going to be live all day. I'm leaving in like 30 minutes to go to my dad's house, so don't worry. I'll be back later. I'll be back on tonight, I'm sure, though, with more updates about this. Just getting here, recap what happened. So the story that they're telling right now, 5:30 this morning, local time. They get reports of 3 separate gunfire exchanges. No one hurt, but just gunfire exchanges. And then police show up. There's an RV with parked in the middle of the street with an ominous message of please evacuate the area. Everyone evacuate, get out. Then at 6:30, the van explodes. And then 3 people were injured. It was located right outside the AT&T building. And now there's widespread outages in the area. So a lot of shit still up in the air. Could be Batman. Really not at this point, like... Batman is a legitimate option. It's Batman or the feds. In one of the videos, there was a second explosion. I didn't see that, Jimmy. I didn't see that, Turk February. God, that is a great photo. Jim Norton's giant ass head. Does he die? Did he die? Oh. Jim plays Red Dead Redemption? I never saw that clip. Come back tonight for a comfy stream on Xbox. Yeah, it'll be fine. Okay, I'll look for it, Jimmy. RV could be Captain Content. I wish it was Captain Content. Unfortunately, I was awake. I've been awake since 3:30 this morning. Couldn't sleep after I passed out drunk at about 10 or 11 last night. So fun, but when I woke up and got out of bed, I saw that Captain Content was still alive, belligerently drunk at 3:30 in the morning in sunny Los Angeles. So I think we can rule out Captain Content. Stop fucking messaging me. Ugh. You hope Blade was in the RV? Oh, poor Blade. All right.
Investigation on this scene on Lower Broadway and 2nd Avenue. We have some new video. Ashley, if we can roll the video, we're going to show you what it looks like inside one of these buildings. We want to warn you there's some screaming, no curse words, but be aware this is delicate to watch. This is inside one of the warehouse buildings on 2nd Avenue shortly after the explosion. You can see the water pouring in. You can see the extent of the damage. Everything is knocked down. There are some people just out front, amazed. Look at this. They are screaming in disbelief of the sight they are seeing. This is moments after the explosion took place on 2nd Avenue, about midway up towards from Broadway to Church Street. You can see the fires, you can see the damage inside these historic buildings, and you can hear the people. We'll just let you listen to them as they take in the visuals. Yeah, some of the, can we run that again? Let's just run that one more time. This is the first video that we had of what it looked like inside these buildings. I just want our audience to just kind of look at the damage. Look at the extent of this explosion on these buildings, and listen to the reaction from the people on the streets as they see 2nd Avenue in ruin, in flames. This is before firefighters arrived on the scene. You can see the emergency crew just getting there. You can hear the alarms from inside the buildings and the disbelief in the people's voices as they see the damage and are probably so thankful that they survived it. We'll probably be getting video like this throughout the day as a new security camera video and other video becomes available. But this is a tragedy that people will be remembering and be talking about for years to come. And it's a tragedy that people had lived through. Some of the people have witnessed this morning. We talked to some of those people. Let's listen to some of their descriptions.
Anyways, but I was laying in bed and just all my windows, everything came through. My door, like bricks out of my wall came through. It was really bad. And it just sounded like a giant explosion, but I heard like 3 kind of different explosions. So I don't really know if it was like one full one or what, but that's what it sounded like.
What happened to your apartment?
It's completely destroyed. Everything's broken, like glass everywhere. Everyone's apartment, the doors were all broken through. So it's kind of crazy.
So at some point, like, you were in there when the explosion happened. So did you, like, see all that? Did you have to hide for cover?
No. Well, I saw it all. Luckily, like, I just moved my bed away from the window. So, like, the window fell on my, like, because the whole paint, everything came out. So it all fell on my bed, but, like, barely. So that was that. And then I kind of just was like, all right, I'm going to get out of here. Like, some people were staying, but it was really, really smoky. I thought my apartment was on fire. So then I just went down the stairs, and the door was broken for that, too. And, like, part of the stairwell and everything, but I was just like, I'm out of here, so yeah.
What did you grab?
I just grabbed my purse, my dog, and boots. Didn't have much to grab.
It
much
looks like
time.
a war zone in your apartment.
It's really bad. Everything's destroyed.
Thankfully, she's okay and her dog survived as well. We're getting all kinds of messages in from people who used to live in Nashville who are seeing this, sending their thoughts and prayers to the city as it grapples with this latest tragedy it is dealing with. Remarkably, no deaths that we know of. You heard the police briefing a little earlier, this investigation of this tragedy and this intentional explosion. I want to point that out. This was done on purpose. This was broadcasted. It was going to happen, and they carried through with the threat. But the federal government, the FBI, ATF are taking over that part of this investigation. Metro Police continue to secure the scene. They urge everyone to stay away from Broadway, stay away from 2nd Avenue. This scene is a crime scene. Investigators will be there for days, likely as they search for evidence to try to figure out what was the reason for this bombing, what was the intent of this explosion. We still don't know yet, and the heroic actions of Metro Police. Earlier today, going to the scene as they heard the warning coming from the van that there was an explosion to leave the area, they saved lives. They saved an unbelievable amount of lives. The President has been briefed. We know that much. The federal government will be sending investigators. The ATF will be sending more investigators to Nashville. We don't know if we'll get much more information now that the federal government has kind of taken over the investigation. We're going to wait to see. Metro Police have kind of handed it off. But you can see that's just incredible damage. All of 2nd Avenue is basically ruin at this point. The buildings are all uninhabitable at this point. The windows are all gone at this point. Some of those structures are very, very old, historic warehouses that may have suffered damage, that there may be partial collapses at some point. In fact, we're hearing that one part of it was a partially collapsed. There you see the part of the scene on 2nd Avenue that is just hard to witness. It is unbelievable to see that anyone lived through this. This explosion that took place at 6:30 this morning, an intentional act. Why? We're trying to find out. Why Nashville? Why Christmas Day? Why this location? All these questions yet to be answered. Investigators are working hard on it, though. They will find the answer. They will find out where this van came from. The residual damage right now, though, we're hearing police departments throughout the area are losing AT&T service. 911 lines are down. We know in Mount Juliet, in Murfreesboro, in other areas as well, in Kentucky. AT&T service, internet service through UVerse and other providers is down. DirecTV, we understand, is having issues. A lot of the internet service providers that that AT&T carries is down because of this explosion. That may be a while before that is repaired, and there may be more people who lose service. This has become kind of a domino effect as people begin to send us text messages that we just lost our service. My daughter in Smyrna in Rutherford County has lost her service. I don't know about our home in Williamson County. It was up when I left. But throughout the area, it seems to be spreading the loss of service due to this explosion. The next step is going to be tough. The next step is going to be the people you see there on the ground, picking up pieces, picking up debris, finding evidence, finding out what this explosive was made of, where it came from, who owned the van, the RV that was used in this. Was it stolen? Was it a rental? They will find license plates, VIN numbers, something to track that back to see who owned that van, that RV, and where it came from. What kind of explosive was this? Was it dynamite? Was it chemicals? Was it fertilizer? Whatever it was a massive amount. We saw the skyline picture of the plume that just dwarfed the AT&T building, and you can see the result on the buildings there. All the windows are out on all of that video. The buildings are scarred with soot and dust from the explosion. News 2's Valencia Wicker is at the scene that you're looking at there, the live look at the damage of this blast. Let's talk to Valencia. What are you seeing there, Valencia?
This is the first time that we're able to actually see down 2nd Avenue. For most of the morning, for all of the morning, police had kept us back. And now that those investigators have kind of been able to get to the scene, assess everything that's gone on. We just saw the gas company come here just a few moments ago, and they have since moved. We are able to, for the first time, get this very clear indication of the damage left behind. As you can see, there are cars that were parked here on 2nd Avenue, and they are, destroyed. There's no other way to describe it. You can see that it's just charred, lots and lots of debris. down on 2nd Avenue. As you can see, there are still some investigators going through and sifting through what is left behind. You know, you had talked about just a few moments ago the service, and I want to kind of give indication of that. I do have AT&T, and I have not received or been able to send a text message since about 11:30 this morning. Haven't been able to get any emails, which of course creates a different barrier and challenge for us when it comes to communicating with you all back there at the station. Lots of delays and things of that nature. So it is having an impact, a great impact for the folks here who are in this area. You know, for folks who even live in this area, if you're trying to get in contact with family members and things of that nature, it's just not possible. In fact, I know my family, my sister's been trying to get in contact with me, and I just cannot respond. Producers have been trying to get in contact with us, and it's almost impossible just to kind of get in response to anyone, especially if you have AT&T. So that certainly is a challenge, especially on Christmas Day when families are trying to ensure that their loved ones are safe and doing okay. So as you can see, you know, still a lot of when it comes down to what the debris and everything looks like here, right there at the epicenter of all of this. There are still lots of investigators, there's still FBI agents, there's still police. We have not seen fire, but we can tell you that when it comes to officers pushing us back, they are starting to loosen that up just a bit. I do not by any means think that's an indication that this investigation is coming to an end, but certainly just changing. You know, at this point, I can imagine that officers are just trying to understand and piece together exactly what happened here early this morning and why. And so that's what we're seeing here at this point. All that debris down there is just, it is shocking. It is eye-opening to see it firsthand, to see what people woke up to on the Christmas morning, you know, in a year where we have been through so much already. This is just, it is shocking, and certainly I empathize with those who live in this area. Bob, back to you.
Yeah, Valencia, you used the right word, shocking. Just look at those pictures. There's nothing left. Looks like a tornado went through the area. And we don't know if that was the RV involved. It looks like 3 cars there completely destroyed. As you see these officers,
that looks like an
on the
RV
scene
there,
itself.
Bob.
We do know that AT&T trucks are moving in the area. They're trying to repair this, and it is widespread. I'm hearing from friends on the internet throughout the area that their AT&T service left them about 11:30 this morning, and a lot of people are down right now. AT&T is moving.
Why would the internet go down 2 hours after?
News 2's Elizabeth Lane is near that area. Elizabeth, have you seen some workers?
Bob, in fact, yes, we have seen a couple of AT&T trucks. They've tried to come down this way where you see the patrol car blocking off that portion of 2nd Avenue. However, we saw them actually get turned back around. So it would appear that they are trying to get back toward the AT&T building, toward that area where they want to make some changes to try and get everybody back online. I can tell you I'm one of those people personally too, right alongside Valencia and many of our friends here in Nashville who have not been able to make a phone call, send a text. Certainly that's very different here on Christmas morning. So, and shocking is a great word to describe this. I'll tell you, my photographer and I have been here for the last 6 hours or so. We were here shortly after that explosion happened. We saw the flames and the big plumes of smoke coming from downtown. Certainly a shocking thing to see here on Christmas morning, and the people living in this area saw it too. One thing that Mayor John Cooper mentioned a little bit earlier when he addressed us this morning is that had this been at a different time, maybe a busy day of the week or a Saturday when you had lots of tourists and people down enjoying Broadway, this could have been a very different, much worse situation in terms of loss of life. It's still very bad because people have had their homes destroyed in the form of apartments and condos that are down here in this area. 3 people were taken to the hospital as well, we know. However, the fire department has told us that all of those people are expected to recover, including a police officer who is being treated right now. So still a developing story, as we know, many questions that we hope to get more answers to and more pieces to the puzzle to throughout the day. And right quick before we go, I did speak with police not too long ago. They had told us that they had taken witnesses to the Central Precinct to ask them some questions to get their perspective. We had seen some being taken in a police car, in the back of a police car. And at this point, Don Aaron, the spokesperson for the department, tells me that they're still putting those pieces together. Nothing has really come to fruition as in terms of more information that they can share with us to really make sense of this all on Christmas morning. Bob?
Elizabeth, you've been there for 6-7 hours this morning. Have there been many people downtown? Has there been much traffic? It is Christmas Day. You would think there would not be many people downtown. Looking at it now, it does seem pretty vacant. People are staying away. They're abiding by what police want. It doesn't look like a lot of folks in the area. Have you seen many?
Not much traffic, Bob. In fact, you'll remember that police cleared many of these people out before that explosion happened because there was that very scary, I could imagine, warning message coming from the RV at the time, warning people that there could be an explosion. So a man that I talked to, Brian Norwood, I ran into him up at Broadway and 2nd Avenue North just minutes after this happened, and he had already gotten out with his roommate, gotten to his car in the Gulch, and they'd had quite some time between evacuating and that explosion actually happening. So you saw many people go ahead and get out before that happened, and they have not been able to make their way back into the heart of this area. Many of them have told us that they're in a hotel for the night. Bob?
Yeah, Elizabeth, we're hearing from
We
Metro
know,
Council,
Elizabeth.
great reporting. We're hearing from Metro Council member Freddie O'Connell that they are working to try to find locations for anyone displaced by this explosion this morning, including possibly the Gaylord Opryland Resort has volunteered services. We'll get more information as that comes available, but the city is working on trying to find locations, someplace for these folks to stay that have been displaced because of this. Let's go to the Alert Desk. News 2's Josh Breslow is there. He's been here all morning long. New information on what we're learning from people who actually saw this happen. Josh?
That's right. So, Bob, we told you a bit earlier about David Molloy. He's the guy who was seen walking his dog in that viral video around 6:30 near 2nd and Commerce. Molloy's out there. He's approached by a Metro officer who tells him as all this is going on, he needs to evacuate that area. That is when the explosion happens, a big explosion right there in front of him. He and his dog are fine this morning. They were not hurt and just spoke with us. Take a listen.
A little after 6 o'clock, I was taking our German Shepherd, who's there on the floor, taking her out to go to the bathroom. And when I stepped outside, I noticed there was police cars at each corner with their lights on.
Why is this guy being so weird?
The officer was in the middle of the road of 2nd Avenue walking towards me, telling me to evacuate. And I said, why do I need to evacuate? And right then, boom, the bomb went off. So his back was to the explosion.
Yeah, the bomb was a front,
looking
obviously.
at him, and it was just a half a block down the road. So I immediately looked up and saw the explosion. I could see the flames and everything, and I could tell that it was coming from the side of the street where the AT&T building was. And when I looked at our video footage of the explosion, our door actually blew wide open, and then it has a closer, and it closed itself back. I checked our alley cameras, and our back door also blew wide open, and then I realized a little later that all the back doors of the buildings behind us, some of them are still wide open, and there was windows and shards of glass and everything everywhere. The whole alley's just full of glass out there.
Video, hard to believe he was not injured. His dog is okay. They are both fine at home after all of this happened here. So we do know that after that explosion, he went outside and he actually saw this huge fire. He took this video with his phone right outside. That is where that RV did explode at 2nd and Commerce. Massive flames coming from that area, causing damage not just to the building that he was outside of, but also every building in that immediate area.
Whoa! What?
He spoke to us for a good 10 minutes, so we're going to post most of that on our website here at WKRN.com shortly. But again, very lucky to be alive. He was not injured. That officer was not injured who helped him out, and his dog is doing just fine. Bob?
Thanks, Josh. Getting more information now. AT&T has now tweeted that, yes, all the outages that people are experiencing are related to the explosion that took place in Nashville at 6:30 this morning, and so it could be a while before people who have internet service and television service with AT&T get that service repaired. It's been out since about 11:30 and seems to be growing in stature as more and more of the service is determined to be not working at this time. News 2's Maya Owens is also in downtown Nashville at the Siegenthaler Pedestrian Bridge. Maya, what can you tell us?
Very clear picture of where this explosion, the epicenter of where this explosion happened. On the left side, you can see sort of remnants of that RV explosion there, and you can see first responders just investigating what's happening. This is the very clear picture that we've been wanting to see and look at. You can see just how much damage is here in downtown. I know that Neil had said earlier it's as if a tornado came through here just very briefly, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. So much debris. And I know, Elizabeth, you asked her earlier about people being outside. You know, it's Christmas. You want to be outside, you want to see the lights. It's honestly been a ghost town here. We haven't seen anyone except first responders down here. They keep pushing people back and back and back. Right now, you can see Broadway and then Commerce Street right here next to Joe's Crab Shack, getting a look and a clear picture
headquarters
of what happened early this morning. FBI investigating, of course, and on the scene here, just trying to figure out what exactly happened. And I think that's the question that we are all wondering. What caused this? Why did this happen? Why on Christmas Day? Definitely not what people down here expected to wake up to. And you can see there just trucks, Metro police and fire trucks have been coming in and out, filtering in and out through this area. I know Valencia is joining us from the other side of the building near the courthouse, and so we're here on this side of it getting that clear picture of what's going on and what has been left in the aftermath. The Nashville Fire Department has been doing a great job keeping us updated, sending us pictures and videos of what's going on down here. But this is just devastating to see. Bob.
I want some personal perspective from you, from what these first responders and investigators are dealing with. It is cold outside out there. These people are working in some frigid conditions. So this is part of what these people are dealing with. It is very, very cold out there as they continue their investigation. Maya Owens on the Siegenthaler Pedestrian Bridge, looking down 2nd Avenue, you can see there. That is the scene where the RV exploded at 6:30 this morning. That you can see the two sides of the yellow tape. That is the exact blast zone right in front of a couple of different buildings. The AT&T former Bell South headquarters building. This is the reason that the internet service is down for all folks who have AT&T and Uverse TV and others that are on the AT&T carrier service. AT&T confirming they are working on it. They're trying to restore service, but as you may imagine, it could be a while before they, one, safely can get inside the building, see what the damage was done to the equipment and the like inside that building, and then begin the process of either transferring it to another location to begin service or repairing the service at that building.
No.
You see the investigators there. You're going to see that site for days. This is a crime scene. They don't know the motive yet. They need to determine that. They need to determine exactly where this van came from, who owned it, what kind of explosives were used. All of those questions are to be asked and answered by federal investigators, ATF investigators, the FBI. Has anyone taken credit for this? Not yet. We don't know really much more than what you're seeing here, that this intentional explosion that was broadcast to the area that this was going to happen indeed did happen at 6:30 this morning. And beyond that, investigators are looking for answers, and it's going to take them a while to get all of those answers. We see that people are abiding by it. It is Christmas Day, so they're probably home with their families, not going down to the area, staying clear of that area, letting investigators do their job. A lot of folks, maybe within the sound of my voice, are trying to call their loved ones on Christmas and can't get through. That's partially because of this. A lot of folks here probably can't call out as well, so communications is going to be a bit haphazard for some time to come yet before this damage is repaired and this outage is restored for internet service and for phone service for some folks. and cell phone service for a lot of folks who have AT&T as their carrier. They can't make phone calls and can't send text messages. It's amazing when technology goes down, suddenly become almost naked in the world. You can't communicate with people. That is the blast zone. That is the former Belt South headquarters, the AT&T building. You can see the holes in the side of the building and the black soot where the explosion caused the damage there. This is right where the RV was parked when it ignited at 6:30 this morning. You can see the windows knocked out. Earlier, you saw all up and down 2nd Avenue. Windows are not only knocked out, the complete frames were blown inside some of these buildings. You see the smoke rising there from earlier video. The force of this explosion, someone will be able to determine the tonnage of this explosive, but it was massive. You know how tall the AT&T building is. The plume of smoke and debris that left this area was double the height of that building. It shook the whole downtown area all the way up to the Metro Courthouse and the Public Square Park. It just went down to Broadway and broke windows down in some of the buildings on Broadway. 2nd Avenue is completely closed. That's where the major damage is. It pushed through to some of the buildings facing 1st Avenue. There is damage on that side facing the Cumberland River. And some of this video here shows just some of the damage, some of the chaotic nature of what happened moments after this explosion took place. And it's a godsend that no one was killed. It is truly remarkable that no one lost their life. 3 injuries have been reported from people in the area and police officers in the area. Police officers and first responders did just a terrific job moving toward the danger zone, making sure it was clear, looking at this van to see, what could be done, and getting people out of the area moments before the explosion took place. Let's go back to the Alert Desk. News 2's Josh Breslow is continuing to gather new information. Josh?
That's right. So we actually just got a statement that was released by the Ryman here just moments ago. They say that there's no damage or operational impact to OLRED Nashville Ryman Auditorium, but there was minor damage reported at Wild Horse Saloon. Again, this just coming down from the Ryman here a short time ago. They say that Ryman Hospitality Properties did share this statement to us just a few minutes ago about the explosion on 2nd Avenue in downtown Nashville. Quote, "I want to express our deep concern for the individuals and business owners who have been impacted by the early morning explosion in downtown Nashville. We're thankful that as of now, no major injuries have been reported. An initial assessment of our downtown properties did reveal no damage at the Ryman Auditorium in OLRED Nashville, but minor damage here to the Wild Horse Saloon over there in that area. We do not anticipate any long-term business interruption due to the incident. The Wild Horse Saloon is currently closed as a result of the ongoing COVID-19 crisis. A lot of businesses in that area are closed. We're in contact with our operator and local authorities and will conduct a full inspection of the Wild Horse Saloon as soon as we're cleared to do so. Our Gaylord Opryland and Grand Ole Opry complexes are outside of the downtown area and were not impacted by that explosion. So again, OLRED Nashville and the Ryman Auditorium have no damage or any kind of operational impact there. There was minor damage, though, reported at Wild Horse Saloon. They will take a closer look at that once it is safe to do so to figure out if there's any severe damage there. But right now, there should be no operational issues because, of course, they are closed as a result of the ongoing COVID-19 crisis. Bob?
Yeah, a little bit of good news that the Ryman Auditorium, the historic Ryman, survived without damage. That's truly remarkable. It is not that far away from the blast zone. And it's also pretty remarkable that the Wild Horse Saloon only sustained minor damage. It is probably less than 2 blocks away from where this explosion took place on 2nd Avenue. Governor Bill Lee is aware of this situation. He tweeted earlier today, "We will supply all of the resources needed to determine what happened and who was responsible. Please join Maria Lee and I in praying for those who were injured, and we thank all of our first responders who acted so quickly this morning." The governor said early this morning an explosion did occur in downtown Nashville around 2nd Avenue and Commerce Street. Federal, state, and local law enforcement partners are on the scene investigating. We believe it was, and we now know it was, an intentional act. We also know the president has been briefed and is aware of the investigation and has promised to send federal authorities and all the needed resources to get to the bottom of this explosion. A lot of people have lived through this, thankfully. A lot of people witnessed this morning. Let's listen to one version of what one person saw early this morning.
On 2nd Avenue, but we live on the interior of the building, and I almost couldn't believe that it would have been gunshots that I heard, because we don't live near either 2nd Avenue or 1st Avenue. We're in the middle of the building. So I was perplexed, but thought, maybe it was somebody slamming doors or something. But then about 10 minutes later, there was a whole nother round of guns fire, this time more gunfire and louder. And we got scared and got up out of bed and barricaded our door to our apartment. And then about 15 minutes later, again, there was a whole nother round of gunshots. This time it was way, way more gunshots. The first time it was 3 shots. The second time it was 5 shots. The third round, it was probably about 10 or 15 shots. And we were petrified. We were sitting in our apartment with the door barricaded, with the lights out, not talking because we were scared to make noise. And then about 20 to 30 minutes later, the cops somehow had gotten into the building and started pounding on the doors, alerting all us residents to get out of the building and to leave on the back side, 1st Avenue, not to go near 2nd Avenue. And they didn't tell us what it was. Our car was parked over on the other side of the gulch, and we went over and got our car and was sitting in our car not knowing what to do. And at that point, we had been sitting in the car for about 10 minutes, and then our whole car shook, and it felt like a bomb went off, and we looked over towards 2nd Avenue from the gulch, and we saw flames and sparks, and you could see not only the smoke, but you could see the explosion sparks fly up into the air, probably 300 feet into the air. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, needless to say, terrifying.
Blockaded front door to the apartment, because it wasn't just like it was a round of shots and it was done. It was a round, and then minutes go by, another round, and you're like, did we really just hear that? And then 15 minutes later, and another round again. And at that point, your mind is now thinking, and I'm thinking the shots are in the building. I don't know if they were or not. I don't know. But all I know is that at that moment, I thought that they were. And I was like, I'm going to have to fight my way, jump. I didn't know what I was going to do. Literally.
It's such a bit like Broadway, I mean, busy area typically. I mean, not necessarily at this time of day on Christmas, but I mean, this is a popular area in Nashville.
Yeah, well, what I was really concerned about was the fact that it is a really, really busy area, but also it was an hour that you shouldn't be hearing stuff like that. I mean, 5 o'clock a.m. is kind of what you would call kind of downtime. So I was really concerned. I still don't know what's going on. Don't know when I'm going to get back in my house. Merry Christmas.
Did you talk to any of your neighbors or see any of them coming out? What were they saying?
They were all coming out. Everybody was bewildered. Nobody knew what was going on. There's a hostel youth hotel right next to the building that we live in. And there was a woman that came out of that one that said the cops had said something about a bomb. She said that when we were still at the building. This was 30 minutes before that explosion. She came out and she said something about a bomb. The police had told her a bomb. Yeah. So evidently there was some sort of knowledge about that bomb because one of my neighbors mentioned it.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry this happened.
Hey, life is crazy
Did we miss
sometimes.
anything?
Area, but they're going over.
The takeaway from one of those people who lived through this massive explosion this morning, you could feel the disbelief in his voice as he detailed what happened this morning, beginning with gunfire, 3 different separate rounds of gunfire, followed by that explosion at 6:30 this morning. I want to tell you to pay, if you can see us, at the bottom of the screen, we're now confirming through AT&T and other sources that it's a pretty massive outage of AT&T service at police departments throughout Kentucky, throughout Tennessee, as well as internet and TV service throughout the area. Emergency numbers are going to be scrolling on the bottom of our screen. If you have to call police, these are the numbers to call, because currently a lot of departments have lost AT&T service for their 911 service, as well as their non-emergency phone calls. So we're trying to provide phone numbers that can get through if you need some help. Also, there's the 1-800 tip line for the FBI. If you have any information about this morning's explosion, to please give them a call. They are looking for any more information from witnesses, from video cameras that may be out there, from people who saw anything prior to the explosion this morning. But AT&T is telling us that they are working on this. It may be a while, but it is a pretty broad outage throughout Kentucky, throughout Tennessee, of AT&T service, so that could cause some issues for people for quite a while. Again, we don't know how long, but that eliminates phone calls in some areas, that eliminates cell phone service in some areas, eliminates text messaging and emailing in some areas. So a lot of communications from rural areas in Tennessee, from two police departments, it's not happening because the system is just down right now and may be that way for some time. You're looking at some of the incredible video. I know you've seen it before, but it's just almost hard to take it all in. What this scene looked like at 6:30 this morning after this massive explosion took place on 2nd Avenue in the heart of the entertainment district in downtown Nashville. There you see some Metro Police drone video flying over the scene. You can see the residue of the explosive cloud still filtering up through the air, and you can see it in the top of the screen there shortly after it happened. Just a scene of total chaos on Christmas morning that began with such beautiful white Christmas scenery throughout the area leads to this at 6:30 this morning, and this scene of chaos in downtown Nashville with so many questions yet to be answered as to why this took place, who's responsible for this, what was the intention of this. Was it to knock out communications? It was aimed at an AT&T building. That seems likely. It seems very plausible. But we don't know. We just don't know. The investigators are looking diligently into why this took place, into who could have carried this out, into what that target was. But the residual effect is that the area around 2nd Avenue is all shut down right now. Investigators are there on the scene. Metro Police are asking people, and so far people are abiding to stay away from the area as this investigation unfolds to determine the answer to some of those questions. Remarkably, no deaths to report that we know of. We do not know, we heard earlier Metro Police talking about the recording that we heard being broadcast, whether it was a live recording from someone in the van or a tape recording, we don't know, but it said there's a bomb in the area, you need to leave immediately, and it was broadcast several times across the area. So we don't know if someone was inside that van, that RV, when the explosion took place. That is yet to be determined. All Metro Police would say at this point is they have no information of any fatalities or any bodies in the area. So that is good news. That it means no fatalities from this terrible event. Again, we don't know why it took place, what the rationale was. The location is really up from the entertainment district somewhat. It is across the street from several office buildings that are law offices, and right in front of the AT&T Communications Center, which is the former Bell South headquarters. That was the building that all of the folks who worked for the phone company, the old Bell South phone company, before the Batman building was built, that's where they worked out of, that red building on 2nd Avenue. Metro Council member Freddie O'Connell has tweeted out that the city is working on a plan to try to figure out a way to get shelter and places for folks who may be displaced because of this explosion. We'll bring you more information about that as we learn about it. Mr. Councilman O'Connell tweeted that Gaylord Opryland Resort may be taking part in this and maybe providing rooms. We don't know all of those details yet. It's still being worked on. The mayor has addressed this situation. His big takeaway is that the situation is contained. There doesn't appear to be any further threat of any kind of damage or destruction that we know of, and basically to tell people to stay home, enjoy their family on this Christmas, and let investigators do the work they have to do. This is the scene this morning of the explosion. You can see the twin towers of the Batman building, the AT&T building. Keep an eye on the size of the plume. There it goes. As it rises above 2nd Avenue, look at the height, the power of that explosion and the residue that filled the sky, it was a massive explosion. It was a huge amount of explosives that were placed in that RV and detonated at 6:30 this morning. News 2's Mai Owens has been downtown all morning long talking to people who witnessed this. She has an interview with someone right now. Mai?
That's right, Bob. Hey, yes, we are downtown. I'm actually joined here with Sherry. And Sherry, you've been walking around, seeing the damage that's right behind us here. We're getting a clearer picture. When did you find out that something happened down here?
So I was just in my hotel and I turned on my TV and the news was on, and I'm in Nashville and they said there was a bombing in Nashville, so it kind of freaked me out a little. I just got here yesterday.
Yeah, I know we were talking about that earlier, Bob. And Sherry actually just stopped by through Nashville on your way to Florida to celebrate Christmas because the rest of your family is isolating due to the pandemic. What brought you to Nashville?
I've just always heard Nashville's a really fun town, great place to spend the weekend. There's some architecturally significant towns, and I just always wanted to see it. So yeah, last place I expected something like this to happen.
I know, and I was about to say that you definitely did not think that stopping through here you would be seeing this.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I thought I'd go down the Strip and have a Bloody Mary in the morning and kind of take in all the sights, and yeah, it's a whole different story. I'm just glad nobody got hurt, that seriously.
Yeah, I know that we've been watching it. So you've been watching this on the news on your television screen in your hotel room. To be down here and to look at it in person, how has this been for you?
So it's very surreal. I've met some people coming in that are staying at hotels and they can't leave their hotel. Obviously, they're scared that there's another bomb going on. Everybody just sort of has this kind of surreal feeling, like we're in a really, we're in a music town. We're not in a place that should be dangerous. And it's a holiday. It's enough with COVID, and I feel bad for all the businesses, but then to have something like this is, like I said, it's surreal and it's a little sad and it's a little scary, right? Because being down here, you don't know what else is going to happen.
Yeah. Now, where were you staying?
So I'm staying on the other side of the highway at the Ayrton over by Vanderbilt. Yeah, and you can't even tell something was going on there at all. But the guy at the front desk said he heard something this morning when he was coming in, so.
But you didn't feel anything this morning or hear anything this morning as you were waking up?
No, you wouldn't even know anything happened, and I'm about 5 blocks away, so.
Yeah. And Bob, we've kind of been saying it all morning that at this point we are just looking and watching as investigators survey the damage. Sherry and I are just watching this, getting a clearer picture of what's going down down here, because this is just undescribable. Bob.
Yeah, it really is. I understand the lack of words, because when you see the destruction down there, it is truly almost incomprehensible that this amount of explosive could happen this early in the morning and cause no loss of life. It's just a miracle. You see the investigators there on 2nd Avenue. That is the blast zone. That is the scene. You can see the trees have been knocked down. There are several cars that have been burned, and part of the explosion debris that is left behind. You can see the 2 sets of tape there, and this is some video from inside one of the warehouses on 2nd Avenue. You can see a lot of it has collapsed. You see the water running in from the broken water pipes, and then you go outside and see what's really going on as some folks witness this horrific scene. Let's just watch some of the video. You can see the windows knocked out, debris hanging from trees. You could see some of the fire in some of the windows, and you can see the blast zone again here, the red building there. In the middle of that screen, that is the AT&T communications building that has caused this internet outage. That was this ground zero for this explosion. You see the huge hole in the side of that building. We continue to get new information about what took place and what's going to be taking place. Let's go back to the alert desk of News 2's Josh Breslow. Josh?
Yeah, Bob, I have a few new pieces of information that are just coming into the newsroom here. Up first, Nashville International Airport just telling us here they have activated enhanced security protocols, but they're not telling us yet exactly what that means. They are just saying they have now activated their enhanced security protocols. We're talking about BNA here in Nashville. That second piece of information, the Red Cross has set up a shelter for people who have been displaced by the explosion there in the downtown area. That shelter set up at East Park Community Center, which is over at 700 Woodland Street. The Red Cross does say, quote, "We will have our integrated care condolence team there for anyone who needs it. We'll be evaluating sheltering needs all throughout the day. This is a continuing situation. We will update on our social media platforms once further information has been released." So, of course, we will continue to follow that. Now, the third piece of information just coming in, we just got a statement from AT&T. They released this statement online and say, quote, "Service for some customers in Nashville and surrounding areas may be affected by damage to our facilities from the explosion this morning." They're talking about the one, of course, here in Nashville. "We are in contact with law enforcement and working as quickly as possible to restore service." That explains why so many different 911 centers here in Nashville and the surrounding areas of Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky are now out as a result of that AT&T outage affecting not just Nashville, but surrounding areas. There are numbers scrolling at the bottom of your screen there that tell you who you need to call for 911 in those areas. Bob?
Josh, do me one favor and go through that address again for the Red Cross so that folks who may need some places know where to go. This is the assessment center. They'll figure out where to find shelter, but there may be some folks who are out in the cold, and this might help them.
For sure, especially if you have family members or friends that you can get in contact here and let them know. This is going to be at East Park Community Center. That is 700 Woodland Street. I want to give it to you one more time. East Park Community Center, 700 Woodland Street. That shelter set up by the Red Cross for anyone right now displaced as a result of that explosion this morning in downtown Nashville. Bob?
Thanks, Josh. What we're trying to find out now is we're working to try to some of the owners of the businesses downtown, some of the owners of those buildings, to see what they've been told in regards to it's Christmas and they're closed today, but what about tomorrow? What about Monday? Will the businesses on Broadway all be cleared to reopen? What will happen to the businesses on 2nd Avenue? Are those buildings safe? Who's going to be making that determination? Can the owners get in there to see what they can salvage with their businesses, what's left inside those buildings? Again, all these questions yet to be answered. We're working to try to contact some of the owners of the businesses downtown in the entertainment district to see what police have told them in regards to them even entering their buildings. And those on Broadway, will they be allowed to, will they want businesses to open back up on Monday, let's say, for regular hours? Is there going to be an area where they want to cordon off, or is it all going to be just contained inside 2nd Avenue? Some more video you see here of the explosion scene. Cars and vehicles at the scene destroyed and on fire. This took place 6:30 this morning. You see first responders there who did just a tremendous job of keeping more fires from happening and making sure that no one else was injured or killed as a result of this horrific action. Let's go back downtown. News 2's Elizabeth Lane has been downtown all morning long. Elizabeth?
We're hopeful that we will get another briefing from investigators sometime this afternoon, though that has not been guaranteed. But I'm going to step out and show you what we're seeing here. Very calm compared to what we saw about 6.5, 7 hours ago. But as you can see, there are still police and added, first responders, investigators going down closer to the heart of where all of this happened, just to check.
All right. Hi, everybody. Bo Knows here for the Bo Knows Show. Wishing you all a Merry Christmas. But I'm going to be shutting the stream off here in a minute. I'm taking off to go have Christmas with my dad. Anyways, but definitely make sure you subscribe and whatnot to the channel. And We will be back, I'm sure, tonight after I get home. Probably in 6-7 hours. We will probably do some updates on this case and what's going on. So, once again, thanks for joining us. Enjoy your Christmas. Stay safe. What a shit show this world is. This world has become and will always be. Until later, God bless you.